going on, everybody? So before we get started in the video, I want to go ahead and ask you guys, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Help the channel grow. It doesn't cost you anything. Alright, so let me run a scenario by you and tell me or think to yourself, what would you do, right? So you pull up to a shipper or receiver, or in my case, I pull up to my shipper, and apparently they just went through a bad storm, a bad winter storm, and half of everything has power. So that means they only have 2 dock doors, but only 1 dock is working. Half the system is working. Half the product is ready. All right. So I pull up to this receiver. A guy comes outside and says, "Hey, our system is down." And he said, "But I could get, we could get half the stuff done, but we need a trailer moved." And the guy in front of you, because when I pulled up, there was already 1 truck in front of me. He goes, "The guy in front of you, I asked him if he would be willing to move the trailer, because if he was, then I could go ahead and get him loaded and he can get out the way." But the guy refused to move the trailer because of insurance purposes. Okay, so typically when you work for any company or mega carrier, I mean, most people, they'll tell you, don't pull any other trailer unless it's our own, unless we give you authorization to do so. So the guy goes, "Yeah, so it's gonna be a minute." And I tell him, I said, "Hey, well, I'll move the trailer." He's like, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'll move the trailer." He goes, "All right, well, give me a second, fill out the paperwork that we need you to fill out so we can go ahead and make sure we have the correct load on the dock, so then we can load you." So this particular guy that I spoke with had walked off around the building. I don't know exactly where he went. So I had filled the paperwork out. I went inside, spoke to another gentleman, and I said, "Hey, here's my paperwork." "Oh, I'm sorry, bro, we can't get you loaded because the system's down." And I said, "Yeah, I heard the system was down." I said, "Another guy had asked me if I moved that trailer for you guys, that he would go ahead and load me." "Oh, I don't think we're gonna be able to load you because like I said, the system's down." And dude seems like he caught an attitude. Then he goes, "And it's also a food grade load, so if you want, you can go outside and make sure your trailer's clean because you're carrying food." I said, "Well, I swept the trailer out already." I said, "Unless you got something else, and I'll just go over it again." So they had like this little air blower. But I told him, I said, "Well, did you still need me to move the trailer?" And he was like, "Oh, no, don't worry about the trailer right now. Go make sure your trailer's clean, because if I see 1 speck of dirt, I'm gonna decline your trailer and you're not gonna be able to get loaded." So I said, "Okay, well, you're saying your system is down. How long is it gonna take? Because if you're telling me it's gonna take more than an hour, I'm gonna cancel this load and I'll go find me another load." But right when I told him that, the original guy that I had spoke with pretty much came over and was like, "Hey man, he's gonna move the trailer for us, and because since the other guy didn't want to do it, and he'll be good to go." Dude instantly flipped the switch. "Oh, all right, man. If you want to use the blower, you can go ahead and use the blower, man. And let's go ahead and inspect your trailer." Comes outside, it was like, some dust in the trailer. He goes, "Yeah, man, just use the blower and blow it out, and once you're done with that, we'll go ahead and you can go ahead and move the trailer for us, and blah blah blah." So I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm using the blower to blow the trailer out, and the battery dies. So by this time I had done blowed out about half the trailer, and it's mostly just dust. It's like some of the stuff that the broom just won't get up. If you're a drive-in or planning to do drive-in, then you pretty much know or understand what I'm talking about. So I go back inside and tell him, I said, "Hey, the thing done died. Do you have another battery?" He's like, "Oh, no, don't worry about it, man. Just go ahead and give it to us." He's like, "Yeah, but if you can, just go ahead and move that trailer for me." So I went ahead, hooked up to the trailer. Now, where you go and stand on the side of the trailer to raise the landing gear up is nothing but water. So apparently what happened was, this is one of those docks that go in at an angle like this. So you're bagging in at a slant. And where you go in and rake up the landing gear is full of water. So what I'm assuming has happened, that either once the snow melted, it just turned into water down there. So I'm assuming that's why the first guy didn't want to do it, and he just used the excuse of, oh, for insurance purposes I can't do that because if I mess up something or whatever, I'm going to be held responsible, or the company's going to be held responsible, and he didn't want to do that. So what I did was I bagged into the trailer, I walked to the back and hooked up the airlines, and I drug the trailer past the water, and once I cleared the water, I got out and I raised the landing gears up all the way, pulled forward, did an offset back, so where I pretty much just moved the trailer from one dock to the next dock. So we have two docks right here, trailers right here. I pretty much went up, did an S, moved it back right here. And right before I got to the water, when I was bagging it back in, I went back out there, dropped the landing gear as far back down as I could go, and got back in the truck, bagged it all the way up, dropped my airbags, and disconnected it. And by that time, they're like, yeah, hey, you're good to go ahead and come on and bag the trailer in. So with me doing that, I skipped that guy, and the dude even told me, yeah, if you move that trailer for us, we'll go ahead and get you loaded. I'll let you go in front of him, get you loaded, and you can go ahead and get up out of here. And I told him, I said, I don't know particularly how this driver that came before me gets paid, but me, I get paid by the mile. I don't get paid hourly. I don't get paid salary. I don't get paid a guaranteed pay. I get paid by the mile. So if this truck is not running, I'm not making any money. So went ahead and did that. I bagged in. Took about a good 30 minutes to go ahead and get me loaded, sign all the paperwork, pull forward for them to put the seal on the trailer. And so apparently the guy in front of me, we were both picking up the same thing, just going to different locations. So the exact same material, same amount of quantity, just going to a different location. I'm going to Dallas, he's going to Cali. So apparently they gave me technically his run. Because I was behind him, they gave me his load. And what happened was the next batch of load that needed to go on his trailer just so happened to be on the wrong pallets. I don't understand how or why. So this guy, I don't know what time he'd been there, but I pulled up there a little after 10 o'clock. And by the time I'm leaving, it's 12 o'clock. So I've been there 2 hours, and he's been there longer than 2 hours. So for all I know, he could have been there at 7, 8, or 9, or maybe pulled up 5 minutes before me. I don't know. And so they pretty much had to go and tell him, hey, the material that we have lined up for you, it's on the wrong pallet. So we have to transfer all the materials over by hand to the different pallets. And they told him straight up, like, look here, it's probably going to be a couple hours before we even get you, get that done to get you loaded. And yeah, I mean, it sucked. Do I feel sorry for him? Not at all, because you have to use your head when you're out here. And because of the type of person he was, or maybe his personality, I don't know the guy personally, so I can't speak on it, but it seemed like, he just didn't want to do any extra work, is how I see it in my eyes, because it was a live load. So you just bag in, you open your doors, bag in, and you wait for them to load you. I think that's exactly what he was wanting. He didn't want to get out and drop his trailer to go hook up to the other trailer, to move it out the way, to go drop that trailer back, to go hook back up to his trailer and then get in position. I'm assuming he just didn't want to do it. Me personally, hey, I'm trying to make money, and if you're telling me all I gotta do is move a trailer out the way for me to continue making my money, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And so I ask you, whether you are an experienced driver, a rookie driver, an incoming driver, a prospective driver, any type of driver, even if you're not in trucking and you come across this video, would you have done the same thing? And just comment below in the comment section. Would you have done the same thing? Would you have been the driver to pull up and say, hey, I can't move this because it's my company's policy or because of insurance purposes? Or would you have been the driver like me to say, hey, I'll do whatever I need to do to get this trailer out the way so I can get loaded and be on my merry way? So ask yourself that. So that's my video for you guys today. Make sure when you're calling these companies, you're interested in companies, whatever you're interested in, make sure you do your research. Call the company, talk to the drivers, go on Google, go on Facebook. I mean, there's multiple ways to get the information you're looking for. But to be honest with you, the main two ways for you to get your information is to call and talk to a recruiter and talk to the drivers that are actually there at that company. So I appreciate you watching this video, guys. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one.